Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, we were talking about the rats and how there's this whole myth that that NASA or any space agency, that like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, very specialized and very, very finely tooled and all this kind of stuff. Okay, let's look at reality here for a minute. Now, I kind of, let me get my notes so I know where my head's supposed to be at here, folks. Yes, typical absent-minded professor, just ask my son. Now, like I said, there's this possibility of having these outside living quarters. You've got the main control unit of the rat down here. You have, like I said, a very long extension to get these engines, these RBEs, out so that they are exhausting past your, if not totally past your asteroid, at least far enough out to where they're doing this, you're not creating a kind of an eddy swirl right behind you because you've got a half-mile wide asteroid that you're towing. It's half-mile wide by 10 miles long. It might be a little slower driving because you got a big rig instead of a U-Haul trailer, behind a Chevy 1-ton truck. But needless to say, you can do this. So you want these RBEs way out there. They need to be structurally sound. So these are going to be fairly firm, heavy iron, stainless steel, titanium, and aluminum, and devices. But you're also going to have this huge amount of room inside of that you can do whatever you want. Now, like I said, I'm a science fiction reader. And if you go back to Larry Niven's Ring World, okay, granted he put an entire ecosystem on a planetary orbit, but due to challenges by readers, the man sat down and produced the evidence of scientifically possible to make a ring world, okay, a gargantuan ring, huge amount of space. Well, if we take that same philosophy and we take the amusement park spinning drum that, it spins, centrifugal force puts you to the sides, they drop the bottom, and there you are stuck 10 feet up in the air, right? And we make a disc, and I'm sure you want it to be a little bit more than 50 feet, but I'm just using 50 feet for ease here to give you some numbers, okay? You stick this out there, you got this 50-foot diameter circle, okay? And the outside wall of it is going to be your floor. Now, for the purposes of aesthetics, let's say it's a garden, you're going to have the center post that comes in, that it all rotates around, your spokes come out of, and all of that. We'll have lighting to, the artificial lighting to shine down on your plants and stuff to grow. But you're probably going to want to be able to see outside to the stars. So it's going to be some sort of, clear pane type of a thing on the sides coming down, nice big large windows and stuff. And being, like I said, I'm a solo sailor of ocean type philosophy person. I know I have not done solo long distance sailing. I want to. I've done a lot of solo sailing through life itself in general, but not actually on a boat. But needless to say, I want to be able to see out and see what's going on. So if this is clear going that direction and it's only 25 feet wide and it's a 50-foot diameter, I can see pretty good into what is in front where I'm traveling with my rat and asteroid, and I'll also be able to just turn around and look back and see my asteroid is there and my cables running back to it. A lot of them are going to be visible and easy to see. So even out working in my garden and playing with my tomatoes and my my pot plants, for that folks, pumpkin and turmeric and ginger and all this kind of stuff that I grow now, and I like having growing around me and stuff. Even roses and stuff out here. Okay, now this is the fun part. Okay, using those very simple little numbers. And yes, I did go online real quick and check to make certain that the math I'm about to use is correct. You've got 50 foot in diameter, okay? You want to know how much room there's going to be around. Okay, well, we are, like I said, you're 25 feet wide. You're 50 feet across. To get the circumference, how much distance is all the way around the outside of that, all the way around the outside of the circle there, you use pi. Now, so times 3, you got the 100, I'm sorry, you got the 50, which becomes 150, okay, feet. So you end up with 3,700, let me check my note here real quick. Yes, 3,750 square feet of usable space in there, okay? Pi is a little bit more than 3, fine. Like I said, there's spokes and things like that from the center. If you come up, you enter in through the center, you're entering at 0 gravity, and you simply traverse down a ladder, which you can, obviously have 4 or 5 or 6 of these ladders going down in different places. Now, you can have your garden in there. You can have a workshop where you got machines and equipment for machining and running lathes and drilling and woodworking and whatever you want. You can be like me, an artist, and have an art studio. You can be like a lot of my friends that are musicians and have a music studio. I mean, whatever you want, okay? And you've got 8 of these RBEs out there, okay, going around in a circle. You've got these, okay. Now, since this is not a boat in water, you don't have to worry about if this one is out here at exactly this distance, that one has to have an equal and opposite over here to balance it. So it's just flat in the water. You're out in space. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and only 1 or 2 down this direction because you want a nicer view down there, or you've got your big, party, disc or whatever. But you build these things. You've got these living quarters. You've got all this stuff that you can do. You've got places you can walk. Now, 3,750 square feet. I forgot to check. I was going to see how much acreage there is, how much square foot there is in a single acre. But that's kind of a huge garden, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what I say. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot of probability. The gravitational force of spinning this thing at 20 miles an hour, okay, and planting yourself all the way out there. You don't necessarily have to have a full gravity out there. You just have to have enough that keeps water, food on your plates, water in your glasses. You might have a half gravity, a 3/4 gravity, or something like that. And again, this is all 100% doable now. And because it's being built in space, there is no limitation of the Elon Musk, we got to spend $50 billion building a rocket that goes from Earth orbit to Mars, but we have to build piece by piece down here on the planet and then ship them up there and start assembling them. And it's going to be really expensive, so everybody give me money and join my news groups and my user group and whatever else. This you're building out there in space. You are cutting the costs down dramatically. Like I said, everybody that's got a rat and the first shuttle is going up, that's going to be one of their first things they're going to do is, like I said, they will probably be taking their first set of RBE engines up, the RB engines up, in the bays of the shuttles. They will install them out there. They'll assemble them so they're out there big enough. But those first rats are going to go start collecting, whatever asteroids they can grab and stuff, and whatever stuff they can do, and hauling it into a single pile to start having your reactionary mass and your storage, okay, of any possibility of whatever you might need. Well, let's go check the pile over here, the recycling store, the thrift store. What's the thrift store got before we go into Macy's and pay high dollar you know, which is coming back down here to Earth. Let's check and see what we got in the thrift store over there, and see what we can get. There's already a used item that we can get for, you know, 1/10 the cost. Okay, so that's why I say these things are very easy to work with. And let's see, yeah, I covered just about everything on that. Like I said, yeah, you depending on how wide you got, you can depend on how, you know, depend on how big of one of those you want to make. And again, keep in mind you're in space. You want something that you can do some kind of lockdown, seal down in case of a puncture, to give yourself a chance to survive. You know, and another thing to consider, okay, most people that are very spiritual, that actually understand the spiritual understandings and stuff, understand the value of working with land itself, being in gardens, and digging in the earth. It's a grounding of the human being's energy pattern. Okay? So if you are out in space and you're working in gardens, it's going to be a lot better for you than if you are in a military type setup where the only thing you have to do is play military war games or go work out and build up muscle so you can beat people up better. Okay? There's a whole different psychology between living in peace with your environment and creating a peaceful environment and going out as a war element. Now, I'm going to pick on that in the next one, right? Okay. So you have this kind of stuff. Like I said, Larry Niven did prove that, you know, ring world stuff can work. This will work. The air supply that you have in space needs to always be circulated. Okay. So obviously you're going to have power coming up and out to this to spin and rotate the wheel. You're going to have power for the lighting, for whatever, whether it's your kitchen or your living quarters, or like I said, a garden or a little park or something like this. You're going to have some kind of, you know, lighting systems and stuff like this. You're going to have fans blowing air around, but also just the spinning rotation of that wheel will in fact cause a very small amount of air circulation at the same time. So you have a little bit of passive airflow almost going on all the time that thing's rotating. So again, you have a very nice environment to actually live in. You have space. You know, who wouldn't love to have a 3,750 square foot home? I know I could definitely make use of that much area to do the different things I do, and that doesn't even include kids and you know, wives and girlfriends and parties and anything like that. So yeah, you know, that's why I say it's quite available and quite obvious that you can in fact actually do stuff like this. You can build, it can happen. We just need to stop thinking in a government needs to control this type of thought pattern. We need to start thinking about what is survival, how do you survive. And by the way, yes, I have children living in the apartment above me, so my apologies about the pitter-patter of little feet running around upstairs. But you have to have, you know, you have peace and you have freedom and you have the ability to create a very nice environment up here. And the governments don't want you to understand that. They don't want you to believe this is possible. They want you to take, you know, that it's going to take 50 years and trillions of dollars to try and put 2 people up on the moon. And the reality is no, we can have people living on the moon in a year, and we can have millions of people off of this planet before the whole system collapses. Okay, yes.